Hey Mia, hey Helena. Checking, can you hear me?
Yep.
Great. And hey everybody to whoever joined early, good to see you. It's not even 11, so we'll of course give a few more minutes for everybody to join in.
Hello.
Hey, Benny.
Thank you to everybody who's joined so far. We'll give a few more minutes for the rest of the participants to join. Looks like everybody's joining on time. All right, so we'll just give it one more minute because a few people that
Doors.
are that haven't made it in yet.
Saved on my
So we'll just wait. Let's just give it one more moment. And don't know if you can hear the kids in the background. They just got home from school, but trust me, they're okay. So yeah. All right. I think we can start. So thank you very much, everybody, for joining. My name is Ido Darnell, General Manager of QBeeQ. And we're very excited to host you here on our webinar today, focusing on some of the pain points that we ourselves have experienced with Sisense and our customers, of course, and to kind of talk through, maybe brainstorm a bit about a few of these pain points and offer some solutions that we think can really take your or your customers' Sisense experience to the next level. Before we start, I've got Mia Isaacson and Helena Ferreira from our team here. Mia, can you hear me okay? Can you see my screen?
Yes, I can.
All right, great stuff. So, um, what we'll do is we'll just run through a few slides that we have here, a few demos, and at the end we'll have more than enough time for questions. Of course, if anybody has additional questions and you don't find the time today, please feel free to reach out to us. Um, Right. So there's a lot of familiar names here, and very, very happy to see that we've got actually more people than we were expecting. So thank you very much, everybody, for joining. This is very exciting. Let's get started. There's a bunch of many familiar faces and names here. So, but there's a few who don't who are quite new to the Cubic ecosystem. So I'll just give a quick intro about who we are, what we do, a bit about our team and our customers, and we'll jump into the agenda. So we're a data strategy consulting firm. We're a Sisense Gold partner, and we're also a Snowflake Select services partner. And we provide implementation, consultation, and custom solution development professional services. When it comes to the range of our services, we provide data engineering, dashboarding, business consulting, UX and UI design, infra management, and much more. And in terms of our custom solutions, we also provide plugins for Sisense, and our plugins are basically interactive tools that are designed to drive engagement and increase adoption. Basically, just elevate your Sisense products to the next level. Our team is built of former Sisense management, Sisense partners, and Sisense customers. And the rest of our team is very well experienced data engineers, full stack developers. And the type of customers that we work with can be small startups, but also Fortune 500 companies which trust our services and products, but more importantly, they trust our team and our services. So a bit about the webinar today. Um, we would like to focus on a few key pain points, which we've been seeing come up again and again in the Sisense ecosystem. And these pain points, we believe, are inevitable for fast scaling data teams. And when we say fast scaling, this means these are good problems to have. And it could be, many new customers, many new requirements, new data products, or many new assets, which you sometimes control and sometimes cannot control the frequency in which you're accumulating more volume. So these can be dashboards or models, and we need to know how to control this constantly growing mechanism. Because if you're like our existing customers, then you're creating very powerful data products using Sisense, and your own clients' data appetites are growing. So you need to know how to accommodate this constant growth of customers and needs and manage it instead of letting that manage you. So you can at best it can if you let this fast scaling manage you at best it can create lag and drag and lost requirements, lost dashboards, or performance implications or user abandonment at worst. And we'll talk about all of these very shortly. So what we hope to show you today after we discuss the pain points is how we suggest you not only find solutions to these problems, but also leverage these situations and be able to take advantage of this fast scale so that you can leverage and benefit and ultimately bring more value to you and your customers with better tools, faster delivery, cheaper costs, and all in all, better experience for everybody. Um, a bit about the team. I am CEO of QBeeQ and father of two and early Sisense team member. You can see that Mia is an extreme scuba diver, and actually Mia is so enthusiastic and excited about our products and webinars that she's actually taken a few hours from her Caribbean scuba diving trip in. Sorry, remind me where you
St.
are, Mia?
St. Lucia.
St. Lucia,
St.
diving
Lucia.
and
Yeah.
seeing stingrays, but still joining in our webinar. She is also a former Sisense senior PM. And Helena Ferreira, head of customer success, loves Disney World and Disneyland and anything that has to do with that. And also a former customer Sisense admin of 6 years before joining QBeeQ. You can see that we're also um, Sisense certified and Snowflake certified. So we come with a wide range of Sisense from the inside and out, from product implementation, services, management, design, and everything. And also, we all three of us have glasses. So a bit about the agenda today of what we're gonna cover. And why can I not see the? All right, so we're talking about scaling fast. I'll let Mia cover this in a moment, but we're talking about scaling fast. This means that you're going to start accumulating many new assets. This can cause confusion. This can cause lag. It can cause performance problems. And we'd like to propose a solution here today, which is the asset auditor, which comes to basically give you a crystal ball into um, all of your assets and be able to take advantage of them. Secondly, we'll talk about the way that more you accumulate more customers, You accumulate, of course, naturally more requirements. Everybody, each new customer tries to pull the product a bit towards their direction, and you want to keep up with the pace. You want to keep up and accommodate everybody's new requests, but not lose your mind while doing it. So we'll also introduce our new product called the Dashboard Views. Thirdly, we'll talk about PDF report, which we know is a very big pain point for everybody here on this call. We will introduce our PDF report designer. And lastly, we also have a new powerful Snowflake monitoring tool, which basically gives you insights into what your costs are going to be expected from your Snowflake credit consumption, how it performed in the past, and what you can expect to forecast. And then, of course, we'll finish off with some QA. And without further ado, I'll hand it over to Mia to talk about our asset auditor.
Okay, thank you. As Ida said, I am Mia. I am on vacation, and so please excuse any connectivity issues. Hopefully, I've done everything to make it as smooth as possible. But let's jump in. So, as Ida said, scaling internal and external analytics is a typical response to growth. It's a good problem to have. From that, more users, more use cases. Those use cases drive the creation of assets within your Sisense environment. And that means you now have more assets to manage. And as we see this growth, we start to also see a sprawl of these assets through the environment. And these assets can often become bloated. So whether that means they're weighed down by unused or irrelevant tables and columns that are still being built into the data model or still being queried into the dashboard, all of this can drive cost and performance impacts. We're all very aware of that. Or your assets become abandoned altogether, creating clutter, making it hard to find what's important and making it hard for your users to get to what they need to quickly. And for the relevant assets, assuming that you can find them, the business priorities change, use cases change, and we need to change the underlying structures. And those changes, of course, upstream changes can, of course, break downstream assets. And so that's all something that we are keenly aware of, I think, as a group in this, working in this environment. And this lack of visibility really prevents you from knowing, preventing, and fixing these issues before they happen, knowing what you're doing before you make those changes yeah. So I'm going to go next slide. So our asset auditor, we released this back in March, and we are still talking about it because it's great. And it really is delivering a solution that exposes your data asset inefficiencies. We're giving you the information to optimize and improve performance, reduce your costs, and hopefully increase your overall operational efficiency. The asset auditor is built as a curated set of related dashboards that are bringing siloed data together, enriching it, and is giving you visibility. And this is super important, that doesn't currently exist today. You cannot get this information natively from Sisense. So we think that the asset auditor is definitely a very special plugin that is relevant to any customer with data assets in their Sisense environment. So this will give you full visibility into all those assets, models, dashboards, widgets. You'll be able to identify models and with unused tables and columns to go in, clean those out, streamline the performance. It'll also help you understand scope of change. So maybe you need to make a change to a widget that's represented across multiple dashboards. How do you know which dashboards that widget is represented on? Maybe you need to remove a column from either your data model or your source warehouse. How do you know that removing that column is not going to impact dashboards for your end users? The asset auditor can help with all of that. Detecting errors after upgrades, making sure that you're not getting that support ticket that says, hey, I'm an end user, I need an answer and my dashboard is broken. Let's prevent those before they happen. And in the future, shortly in the future, you'll be able to see which users have access to which assets and which assets are accessible or shared to other users. So visibility into usage and sharing. And one last thing before we jump into the demo, as I mentioned, you are really not able to get this level of detail today, and you're not able to get it all together in one place. So this is what makes the Asset Auditor very special. It's built inside Sisense. So that means it's removing the role restrictions that are typically applied to this kind of information, allowing you to democratize it and share it with the people that need it. And because it is built inside Sisense using all native charts and widgets, it's extremely customizable. So you can take what we give you, create new dashboards, create new views, new perspectives, and also take utilization scores and thresholds and update them to make it more relevant to you and your business. So we can jump into the demo, and
Great.
I can share my screen.
And while Mia shares her screen, I'll also just mention, just like Mia had mentioned now, that the fact that you can take this and further improve it, this goes for all of our products. This plugin has been out since March or April. We already have more than 10 customers already working on it, using it, licensing it, and constantly adding more feedback. And this is relevant to all of our plugins. You're all here to, you can contribute and affect the design of our products so that they can better suit your needs.
So as we've talked about, people go in and experiment. You start something, you don't finish it, employees come and go, and this can leave a graveyard of assets within your environment. So want to use our data models utilization dashboard as an example, where this is the kind of information that you will get through this plugin. So starting at the top, we will give you things like how many data models you have in your environment, which of those data models are empty, meaning they have, they're just a shell, they've got nothing in them. But almost more importantly, how many unused data models you've got. So these are data models that exist, have data, are building, but are not connected to any dashboards in your environment. So these are just sitting, floating, not being used. And talking about, access to information, if you wanted to get this type, even just this basic information today, you would have to be a data designer or above. You would need to go through and check your models one by one. You'd have to go in and see what's in there, see if dashboards are connected to it. And it's just a very tedious process. And depending on how many models you have, that may or may not even be feasible. So we don't only just surface this information, we actually point you in a direction to take action. So when we come down here to our recommendations section, we'll actually show you the list of empty data models and unused data models so that you can go in and, assess whether or not this is needed, make changes, basically just overall clean up and make sure, again, that the things that you have invested time in are being utilized. Then we've got, as you scale, you have a lot more data coming in, right? What once may have been a priority and a set of requirements, those change over time and may no longer be relevant, but we don't always go back and clean things up. And so highlighting bloated data models is something that we can also do with the Asset Auditor. Similar to the data models, we will also show you things like how many tables and how many columns you have in your environment and how many of those are being used versus unused as a percentage. And as you can see, this is our demo environment. So we're very high. Those numbers should be green. But again, you can set your thresholds as it makes sense to your business and your use case. Going down here into our details, we'll be able to see actually what the utilization of data models are. And we're looking at this as a a percentage of the total columns in the cube and the number of columns that are actually being utilized across any dashboard in your environment. So sorting from most utilized to least. And then we will also show you columns that are just not being used at all. And it's easily traceable from the data model to the table to the column name, and then obviously color coded to show what's being used or not. Um, and then finally, there are, as we talked about again, errors that occur when we start to make changes. These models typically are one to many, right? It's very hard to understand the impact of change sometimes, and you only find out that there's an issue when there's an issue. And so our underlying custom code will run a reference check across your data models and dashboards to surface what may have issues. So on our dashboard validation dashboard, we'll show you things like how many dashboards you have overall and how many of them have issues and what those issues potentially are, whether that is a deleted data model that dashboard is referencing, a deleted table or column, or it's an empty dashboard altogether. And passing the recommendations of removing empty dashboards, we will then take you down to that next level and show you which dashboards are sitting in which category of issue. This probably being one of the more interesting ones where we've actually got the dashboard data model and the widget ID that is missing specific dimensions that may be causing errors, again, for your end user. So there is a whole nother layer around plugins and widgets that we can save for another time. But really, at the end of the day, the asset auditor is providing transparency that you can't get anywhere else into how your data assets are being utilized across your Sisense environment. One of our customers who's using it now described it as usage analytics on steroids, which we tend to agree, and that it's really just a smarter way to manage your data assets within Sisense.
Awesome, Mia. Thank you very much. I see that there's also a few partners here of Sisense that are joining in. You know, just to think about how many times you've seen your own customers or their designer customers. You know, go into some kind of data warehouse, click on a table, say select all tables, select all columns, and yeah, they'll say yeah, I need everything with no real reasoning. Then they'll get like poor performance if they can't make up from down, which columns, which dimensions, and facts. And this is the perfect way to show them what are the specific columns, specific tables that are being used. You can show them, no, you don't need everything. You just need top three columns from this table, top whatever these tables, and you can really prescribe recommendations based on that. So I'll reshare my screen, and yeah, can you see still the asset auditor? Great. So from this point, we'll move over to more growing pains. And these growing pains, continuing with the new asset accumulation that Mia just touched about, these are absolutely good problems to have, and you want these problems. When you scale fast, one of these assets that Mia had mentioned is that you accumulate more customers. It's not just dashboards and models and data resources. It's also new customers, of course. And when your data products using Sisense are powerful and working well, then more clients want more attention. They want to pay you for your products. And we all know how difficult it can be to scale fast, especially when you want to make sure that you accommodate all these new requests from the customers at once, to impress them with your products, but still do it in a way that you manage it and make sure that all new requests are met while not causing stress and being able to manage your team as well. So more customers means more custom specifications and needs. The customer's data appetites will grow, meaning that they'll want more of what you're offering, which leads to new business questions and new questions will lead to more aha moments, which will lead to even more questions. So it's kind of like a repetitive cycle where it's a good problem to have, but you need to know how to manage it, you need to know how to leverage it. Because you don't want to cause that burden on all of your teams from BI to support to success and definitely sales and product, of course. So there's a gap to bridge between what the viewers want, and we all know that Sisense viewers are relatively stripped from their capabilities. They can filter, they can select, they can drill down, but that's just about it. Whereas the designers can do so much more, but you still don't want to really empower any user in your customer base with true design capabilities because we're kind of concerned as to what they'll do with this power. Because with great power comes great responsibility, and those people will really need to know what schema, what table, what fact, which dimension, what am I using, how am I going to create these complex formulas, and you don't really want to give them 100% freedom, but 85 or 90% is definitely possible. And so what the viewers lack is the independence to perform their own ad hoc analytics and be masters of their own daily needs. So, one client would want to see um, weekly breakdowns. Another one wants to see other measures which are relevant to that group of customers. A third requirement will be, I want specific dashboard defaulted to specific filters. And what happens is that your BI team is buried under a backlog of support tickets. Every small new request will trigger the same process where you've got, requirement gathering and design changes and QA, UAT, and release, and a cycle that at best can take days and at worst can take weeks or months. And this is not what is expected today. Definitely not in the, we've got powerful analytics platforms like Sisense. Meanwhile, your users, they're stuck waiting, and they get bored with previous versions, or at worst, they get frustrated and stop using your dashboards altogether. And this is dashboard sprawl, just like Mia mentioned earlier. And to deal with this lack of autonomy, we developed a suite of self-service analytics products. And what we'd like to mention today is our powerful dashboard views. And so enter comes in dashboard views. And from these pain points, which we ourselves and our customers have been experiencing, we've created this very powerful capability that really empowers the viewers. This is an evolution of our filter bookmarks alongside our widget controller and dashboard share link. I know this is 3 or 4 different plugins altogether, but we'll jump into a demo very soon and we'll explain what it does. Um, and it truly empowers the viewers and frees them from their dependence on the designers, bridging that gap that we mentioned, and freeing both the consumers and the builders to focus to do things on their own. Let them just give them the independence to do things on their own. You've got the viewers which can toggle and switch and pull and turn and really control what they're viewing. And you can also free up the builders, the designers, to focus less on daily support tickets, on new requests, and more on new next gen data products. And so our solution is basically the combo of the widget controller, which allows for dimension switchers, measure switchers, break by switchers for all native Sisense widgets. I'll just jump into the demo, I guess. So this, what we're looking at, what is viewed right now is that each widget has the widget controller applied to it. And so this allows to add a dimension switcher or a measure switcher or a break by switcher to any native widget available that Sisense offers. And this also goes for pivots and tables. So let's just quickly strip this down. We'll put just nothing. And here we've got a very simple, pivot, but then the viewer can come in and decide for their specific views and really generate custom reports for themselves on the fly without any interference with the designer. I did this in 20 seconds. You all saw it. And I had no need for for a designer to intervene and add new columns and add new measures, new dimensions, whatever. The great thing about the widget controller is that you, as the builders, as designers, can decide which dimensions and measures and that each widget can work with. So you are you're creating the toolbox and you're adding the colors to the palette, and then the viewers can decide which tools and which colors they want to paint with. So this is the widget controller. Second is we've got our filter bookmarks. And so all of this together is now the new dashboard views. So I can now create a new view. And this new view uh, will include the dashboard filter scope as well as my selections in the widget controller, the dimensions and uh, and measure switchers. So I created this default view which includes everything, and I'll just reset back to that and give it a second to load. And while that's loading, now I'll just go back into my dashboard views UI. And by the way, I set it also as my default view so that every viewer can decide, prefabricate their own perspective to decide this is the default view that I want to have when I log in each time to my dashboard. Then I've created another one, which is mid-market view for age range set one. I'll just click on that. And notice that the filters have been applied to a set of categories, a set of company names, and a specific age range. Plus, all my dimensions and measures have also switched accordingly. So let's quickly create a new view. So I'll switch these. Let's just look at dairy and grains. And we'll switch to, I don't know, add a few more customers here. And a few more age ranges, and I'll click apply. And by the way, this is just me using the dashboard filters, but we can also use this, of course, with our advanced dashboard filter plugin. Now, in this current scope that I'm viewing, I'll go back to my dashboard views, and I'll go ahead and click create new view. And what's great here is that I can give it my own personal name as a viewer, no intervention by any designer here. I'll call it dairy and grains. Um, companies A and B, and age range 1 through 2. Now, what's cool is I can set it as private, my personal view, or I can set it as public. This is already generating new presets or perspectives for the rest of my group, which can be defined. We'll get into that in later demos. Plus a few more if I want to include my widget controller or not. Now I'll just click add, and that's it. I created my new view, my new perspective. Now when I go back here, I can very easily toggle back to mid-market and very easily switch between complete perspectives. What's happening here is not only are you allowing your viewers to do much more on their own, you're empowering the dashboard itself to be able to show much more. You don't have to create dozens of dashboards anymore. You can create just one dashboard with 10 perspectives, 10 views, and the viewers can customize them for themselves. Um, one dashboard now holds the power of 10 yesterday. The next uh, natural question here would be, great, how do I share it? And as you all know, viewers cannot share dashboards until today. And this little link here allows me to copy my dashboard URL with my entire filter scope and all of my widget controller presets, and I can just share that to any one of my colleagues. And as you notice here, we've got the share view ID. Just click that. I'll share that with any one of my colleagues through Slack or email or whatever. And we can really collaborate and discuss this context live. And these links will be valid for up to 7 days. I think we know that can also be controlled, but also in the case the data is expected to update. Um, and so, yeah, basically empower your viewers with much more control. Um, and I guess that is it. By the way, if you're an existing customer of ours and you already have the filter bookmarks or controller, then you already benefit from the both. Um, and also another breaking, well, not breaking, but revolutionary change here is that the default views that the viewers set for themselves will not be overridden when the designers republish. So we've also kind of jumped through that. Great. And we're already at 35 minutes past, so we can jump to Helena and the next pain point.
Thank you, Ido. So I see that there was a question already in the chat, so I would like to just take a minute to mention that if you have any questions, please feel free to add them on the chat. We will ask them as we go or also at the end of the presentation. So I think most of you already know me. I'm Elena. I'm head of customer success. And right now we will be discussing the PDF reports that I'm sure is a big pain point for a lot of you. Although dashboards bring so much more capacity and features and present the data in ways that were never dreamed before, the PDF report is here to stay and everybody will need the PDF report. That's a must-have. But it brings some challenges here in Sisense because not all customers will want the PDF in the same way. They might want to see certain charts and not others. They might want to add their own branding. And the way that we design dashboards is not always thought with the PDF export in mind. And what looks like a very nice dashboard within our web browser, within the Sisense world, once exported to PDF, doesn't always look good. And so sometimes we end up having to design a dashboard just thinking about how it will look in PDF. And we might have two versions of the exact same dashboard, one just to browse and look at the data and see all the nice charts, and another one just specifically built to export to PDF. And that's not the best way to invest our time, obviously. So this is one of the challenges that we have chosen to tackle, and we have now a solution for it. So Ido, can we move to the next slide? So we are going to show you our QBeeQ PDF designer. And with this designer, what we have made available is the possibility first for the designer to design the first look and feel for the PDF. And we will show you that we can drag and drop and change the widgets locations, decide which widgets will be exported or not, things like that. And then once we have this first preset, the viewers themselves will be also able to change that layout to their own needs. So let me show you real quick how this can look. So here I have a regular dashboard, nothing very fancy. I have a few indicators, charts. I have some rich text. Maybe this one I don't even really need on PDF, and I have our map. And if I export this with the regular native Sisense PDF, this will be looking like this. So I have here on the first page a sales report. I have this text that I don't really want, and I have the map. So this is what we get directly from Sisense. Now we have without QBeeQ PDF designer. So first of all, we will need to enable it. And then on the download, we have this new option for custom PDF. We also have the option later on to completely disable the native Sisense PDF, and then it will show just as download PDF and with this icon downloading directly. So for the user, for the viewer, the experience will be seamless. But here we have a new UI that is very similar to the native Sisense one, but now we have the possibility to change things a little bit. So I don't want this, I can expand it, change the location. So obviously now it's not letting me do it. So I want the map first. I have my sales reports. We can see that that other text that I had in the dashboard has gone. I can maybe make this a little bit smaller, expand this one. So this is really what you see is what you get. And now I am going to download my PDF. Just a few seconds. I tried the native one and it took me a little bit longer. And here we have our PDF exported as we designed it directly on the fly. So this is what I had to show you. Are there any questions regarding this one, since it's a very small and fast demo? If you have questions, maybe we can take them right now.
There's one in the chat. Zach is asking, would this affect or maintain widget script changes such as pivot table cell coloring when exporting to PDF?
Yes, this should take everything into account because basically we are exporting exactly what we see. So even, for example, if I would want, let's say that I am interacting a little bit with my map here, and I don't want to show it like this, I want to focus on a specific area, I can even do this and export, and it will be exporting exactly what I have here on my screen. So I would expect it to be exporting exactly what the scripts have been, how the scripts have been affecting the dashboard.
And then we have another question. I'm not sure if it's about the dashboard views or the designer, but when a viewer modifies filters, will the dashboard link change based on the viewer's modifications?
That's when you click on that dashboard link, you're getting that exact snapshot that you're looking at. So it'll take the exact perspective of when you clicked the button. And it's on purpose. Like that's by design. That's exactly what we want to do. You know, when you're looking at this month for this age, this is exactly the context that you want to send over to the customer. So it will not change based on the viewer. Well, if the viewer changes and then clicks again, it will update the link.
So here I had my dashboard, I copied the link, and then I went and removed everything. And then when I pasted the link here, it kept the filters in place. Was this the question? Did we answer the question?
There's another question about the PDF report designer.
Oh, we have a lot all of a sudden. Okay. So
we've got a question with the PDF report plugin. Will widgets inside an iframe properly show what was being displayed at the time of export?
yes, it should. We can probably test it further, but given the way that this was developed, it should be showing properly whatever is showing in that iframe.
Also important to mention that there's a feature that allows the viewers to exclude specific widgets. So the viewers themselves can define which widgets they don't want to see. Just here, that Helena's showing now.
For the filters visible on the export, we have the option, as we do as well on Sisense, to show the filters here. So we have that option.
And last question, I'm not sure the view will get changed here. View ID, the view ID will get changed. So I think we're mixing a few different things here. So we've got the PDF reporter and then we've got the dashboard share link. Yeah, the view ID will change. If it's following up your previous question, the view ID will change.
Yeah, there are when we click on this copy link, it will generate a view ID on the fly.
Right. And let's just slightly to move a bit forward, also just to mention that on our immediate roadmap, we're going also to do a pivot oriented exporter, which will include page breaks and expand on all rows, similar to the Sisense export on PDF pivot plugin. We'll also add a feature to add external resources such as images and rich text. So the viewers will be able to, from Helena, can you just open up that export designer? Uh, the viewer will be able to upload images, icons, logos of their customers, whatever, or additional rich text indicating, doing kind of like an annotation on this new report. And lastly, I think most importantly, is the viewers will be able to save their own templates. So I've got maybe a template which is focused on this type of customer, or another, my management, or another one for my colleagues, and I'll be able to repetitively use um, pre-generated templates. Um, Great stuff. Mia, I'll share my screen. Thank you very much, Elena. Uh, Awesome, game-changing PDF designer, report designer. Moving forward over to our Snowflake expenditure pain points. Thank you, Mia.
Okay. Yep, I'm on. Okay. So again, as things grow, as you scale your analytics, as you have more people on the analytics layer, that puts more pressure on the data processing storage layers in your cloud data warehouse. And specifically what we're talking about today is Snowflake. From this, and I think, again, all this stuff is very common knowledge, right? More usage. When you're on usage-based billing, those costs can spike unexpectedly, especially if you are provisioning for peak usage. You may end up actually over provisioning for the rest of the time, and that can continue to contribute to your bill even when not being used. Identifying inefficiencies and resources to optimize within Snowflake. Increased data means increased storage costs, and ultimately, when spend is aggregated within reporting, it's difficult to know what workloads, warehouses, or users drive the largest costs. And understanding where those costs come from becomes really essential for engineering teams, finance teams, infra teams to manage, control, and make sure they're not running away. You can go next slide. So this is our newest, just I guess being released today, right now, newest plugin, which is our Snowflake Monitor. Very similar to the Asset Auditor, it is also built as a set of curated dashboards for you to use, covering all major Snowflake usage areas, making it very easy to monitor consumption, performance, and costs, all without technical setup. And I'll say that I know that the demo for the Asset Auditor and the demo for the Snowflake Monitor are not as fancy because they're sets of dashboards, but what we highly encourage is, if this is interesting to you, come talk to us. We'll get you set up on a trial. And I think it's way more compelling to see your data within the context of these tools rather than mock data. And so we're very happy to set you up with a trial, give you a chance to explore these tools using your own data. So the Snowflake Monitor, native Snowflake usage views are restricted to Snowflake admins. You have to be inside Snowflake in order to see any of this information. And that really limits transparency because you definitely have people, data designers, dashboard designers, who are, their decisions are influencing resources and cost within your data warehouse. And so because, again, this is built inside Sisense, you can share this information across teams without giving direct access to that Snowflake admin level information. We also use your existing Snowflake connection and the standard Snowflake account usage and organization usage schemas. So we're not really introducing anything new. We're utilizing exactly what Snowflake gives you to monitor and manage this type of information. This means no custom ETL for you, and you get accurate and up-to-date information because it's coming directly from Snowflake and being delivered on Sisense dashboards. These are pre-built dashboards and a pre-built Elastic Cube that you just import, build, and run, and you now have the information that you need to be able to manage costs, identify opportunities and optimization points. And really just by combining the technical detail of the Snowflake analytics and the high-level reporting, which we provide on the dashboards, they really serve both operational teams, executive teams, everybody in between, making sure that your Snowflake resources are used efficiently and strategically. So I will share again. Oops, that's my video. Okay. So again, I'm just going to kind of walk through some of these dashboards and just show you the type of information that you can see when applied to your own data and your own Snowflake account. So we provide an overview, just a really nice overview of kind of what's going on around all of the Snowflake usage areas. We will provide across these usage areas, tasks, warehouse, query, and we're really bringing cost to the forefront. So at the very top of all of these dashboards, you're going to see credit usage, cost, whether estimated or actual. And you'll be able to see these both in real time and over time and forecasted, depending if you are using, you can apply things like Sisense forecasting, explanations, things like that to help enrich your understanding of the information. So as I mentioned, we've got warehouse over time. Here's an example of where we've got forecasting going on. Got your query, your users, which are not individual users, but they're users connected to Snowflake. We cover materialized views, pipe, and storage as well. And we're also giving more detailed usage analytics. So you can things like, or identify things like top users with most credit burn so that you can go back and really look at what these users are doing. Maybe they're doing things that they shouldn't, but they're definitely users that are driving cost. So we'll surface those for you to then, again, go take action on. We'll also show you things like storage use by database. So where are your biggest drivers for storage? And maybe that's not needed. It's really more of an investigative tool to identify areas of opportunity. And then finally, some examples of, or an example of some optimization identifiers. When we go back to our query dashboard, we'll show you your most expensive queries. Maybe that's a good place to start. We'll show you queries with elapsed time of more than 5 minutes. This is also something I believe that you can adjust, right? If you want to have all your queries functioning under 1 minute, you can adjust that threshold. Again, ways to optimize performance. And then we're also showing you top queries for the worst scan efficiency so that you can, again, go and address that. And currently, this is showing data for your entire Snowflake account. So when you look at like the storage or the warehouse, it'll show more than just what's being used within Sisense. But a very short-term use case that we're going to be addressing is the ability to analyze query effectiveness inside Sisense. So your Sisense queries on specific dashboards that are not running efficiently, both for time, elapsed time, but more importantly, cost. So having more users, more dashboards, more queries being run, those inefficient queries become more and more important to pinpoint and fix to help lower and manage overall costs of your data warehouse in conjunction with Sisense. So while this doesn't, this plugin isn't relevant for every single customer of Sisense, but if you are on Snowflake and you're using Sisense, this is definitely one that we're excited about, we recommend. And again, either the asset auditor or the Snowflake monitor, let us know. It's going to be way better to see this stuff with your data. And it's going to be able to highlight immediately some areas that you can we can definitely address.
Great stuff. Thank you very much, Mia. So I'll share my screen back and just quickly touch on the summary and key takeaways. So, good growing pains, common growing pains to have. These are good problems to have when you're scaling fast with Sisense. You accumulate more assets. You want to prevent that chaos, that data chaos. Um, so instead, you want to manage it. You want to leverage it to your advantage. So our asset auditor allows to use a crystal ball um, into all of your assets. More assets, more customers means more customization requests. You want to empower your viewers with self-service analytics. You want to let them do more on their own and free up the burden from your designer team to focus on more important things. Report inflexibility, more customization, more custom requests. The H1 will want to create their own specific reports, and so our PDF report designer allows users to design their own reports. This is something that's not available today with Sisense, and many new powerful features are about to be released. And lastly, another crystal ball into your Snowflake cost and expenditure, and touching on this, Josh, thank you for that question. If we're planning on switching to Redshift, we're definitely planning on other data warehouses, if it's Databricks or Redshift. So absolutely yes. As Mia mentioned, if there's an appetite for this, we'll definitely go up for this. Bottom line is, with these solutions, you don't have to have the burden of these problems of the growing pains. Instead, you take them to your leverage them to your advantage, and take your Sisense to the next level. I think this is all what we're here to do. And yeah, let's move over to Q&A. I think we've got a few more minutes left. Awesome timing. I was really expecting to go a few minutes above, but this is awesome. So let's take a few minutes. There was a question here that someone wanted me. Also, I'll unmute you now. Yes. So, sorry. From S. Copulu. I don't have your full name.
It's Swapi.
Yeah.
Ah,
Hi. Good afternoon, everyone. So the question that I have is like right now, like in Sisense, whenever the viewer like they can able to edit the filters. Like if they want to see data only for particular date or for particular customers, they can able to edit that. But here, when it comes to QBeeQ, what is the extra benefit? Like uh, without QBeeQ, also like a viewers can able to edit the filters and they can see the data what they want to see, right? So extra is like for example when the viewer like modify the filters here with QBeeQ, they are going to create a new view ID and share it to the other viewers.
just to clarify that this view ID, when I click here,
Mm-hmm.
includes the specific measures and dimensions and filter scope that were set uh, the viewer controlled. It's not just for the filters. You
Okay.
create this entire scope, you add the entire widget controller preset and perspective, and this is what you share around. It's not just the URL dashboard. It has that this view ID, which holds all the information of what the perspective of the viewer that was looking at.
Okay.
So
Can you
it includes all the configuration of the filter scope plus the widget controller.
And even they can, you mean like they can able to edit the widgets?
They can manipulate with the dimensions and measures on the widgets, yes, including
Okay.
the columns and dimensions and measures in pivots and tables, or any of
Okay.
our custom, or any one of our custom advanced data visuals in our power up. Something very important that I forgot to mention at the beginning of the conversation, of course, I'm sure that everybody's eager to hear, is that, of course, everybody that is on this call will get a link to our 10 free plugins, which we'll be happy to provide, and you'll just get instructions on how to get those and add them to your own Sisense instance. And if you've got other customers or other partners or whatever that you want to send that over, please let us know, and we'll send them a link with instructions on how to get that. So basically, you made it so far, so you deserve those 10 free plugins. So thank you very much. Yeah, Tanvesh, did you have a question?
Yeah, hi everyone. I just would like to know what's the maximum limit of rows a widget or a pivot widget can handle.
The maximum number of rows in a pivot?
Yeah,
So this is the native Sisense pivot. We also have our own super table, which is formerly known as the expandable pivot, but I don't. Well, there's
50,000.
exactly. So this is the thank you, Kamar. So there's a
Yeah.
50,000 return result set limit for any Sisense query. By the way, there's ways to kind of manipulate that, but I'm not sure you can expect any pivot to just return 50,000 records. Depends on the query and the many other
yeah,
factors.
yep.
Yeah, I think there's a technical limit and then there's a logical limit in that you don't want users scrolling through 20,000 pages of a pivot table. It's there to tell you an instant story, not be a data archive. So yeah, 50,000 I think is a theoretical limit, but shouldn't really go anywhere near that, I would imagine.
Probably not great experience. Thank you, Kamar, for
No
clarifying
worries.
that.
And hi,
By
Helena. Hi, Ida. It's great to see you again. Hello.
it's great to hear it. And by the way, the table pivot, the table widget has an infinite scroll mechanism, which also allows you to just, go on and on. But that too, is also, like Kamar mentions, that the 50K record limit is theoretical.
Okay, thank you.
Great. So we're just a minute after. Please, we'll stay here for a few more minutes. Let us know if you've got any other questions. I know that Mia is eager to go back to her scuba diving and her turtles and stingrays, so we'll just keep you here a few more minutes. So I'd like to just thank everybody for taking the time and hearing a bit about the pain points that our customers have been experiencing and the solutions that we have here. We'll send you the recording. Plus, we'll send you a thank you email. In that thank you email, we'll have um, a feedback form. Please take the time, literally 20 seconds, 4 questions. I'm sure that if you've put in an hour and 2 minutes for us, then you can put in another 20 seconds. That would be very, very helpful and beneficial for us to improve on our webinars and our products and everything for the future in order to ultimately serve you best in the near future as well.
Hey, Ida, will you be sending pricing for these new plugins, particularly the asset auditor?
That will be discussed on individual
Okay.
meetings.
Thank you.
We'll reach out, Todd. Thank you for asking. Great. I don't know, Helena, is there anything else that you wanted to add today?
No, I think that's all. I think that most of the people who are here who already know us know that we really value your feedback. So please let us know what you think about what we have presented, but also if there are some features that you see lacking here that we might not have identified yet, or maybe we are already working on that and we have it ready for our roadmap, so we will let you know when they are available. But this is something that we really pride ourselves in, that we really listen to you and take all your feedback into consideration and make that our fuel to get our products to the next level. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone, and
Thank
thank you,
you.
Helena. Great stuff. Thank you very much, Helena and Mia. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining. And we'll send you the recording. And have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.
Have a great day.
you.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.